We're going behind the pitch and taking World Cup, football, soccer, Alexi Lalas, and USMT in the dark. We're heading into the final week and the final matches in FIFA's 2026 World Cup. And no doubt the matches that are upcoming this week are going to be exciting and thrilling to the end. But one of the things that has come up since the elimination of the United States team in the World Cup has been the quality of play of United States men's soccer. Conversations online, on the airwaves, on social media about what exactly went wrong with the United States men's soccer team. And especially Lexi Lawless and Colin Cowherd and some of the folks over at Fox Sports. They've been analyzing the defeat of the United States men's soccer team. And I think it's been unfairly analyzed, especially by Lexi Lawless. He actually went after Coach Pochettino and thinks that Coach Pochettino should be fired, which is ridiculous. Coach Pochettino did exactly what anybody could have done with this team. This is one of the situations where I believe a lot of the people involved with men's soccer in the United States were pretty much selling beans, a lot of magic beans to a lot of jacks. And people were buying it. People thought that the United States men's soccer team was a little more competitive than it showed. You really can't judge the situation of the men's soccer team without taking a look of the entire situation of soccer in the United States. Now, first of all, I'm going to call it soccer on this platform because this is the United States and soccer is what we know the sport to be, and it was created by the English in the first place. So it's not really offending anybody if I use soccer on this platform. Anyway, moving forward, of the many reasons and excuses people use for the state of soccer in the United States, you can't help but begin at the beginning. For example, soccer in Europe. So, football in Europe, we'll say, is where kids are groomed from the jump. They are placed into youth academies that are sponsored by some of the biggest leagues in Europe. And these kids are groomed from the beginning. Even if their talent is found later in life, they are still able to participate in different academies that clubs sponsor throughout Europe, that professional clubs sponsor throughout Europe. And all of this through youth academies, through international competitions from a very young age costs parents in Europe nothing, zero, especially in the UK. It doesn't cost parents a dime for their kids to participate in these academies, in these organizations, in these competitive soccer leagues. Through sponsorships of the professional leagues and professional teams in Europe, these kids have to pay nothing. They are sponsored to play and are groomed from a very young age and wind up in competitive situations like the World Cup. And that's why they excel beyond anything we can imagine. Because here in the United States, participating in competitive youth soccer can cost families anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 annually. And it can be up to $20,000 annually for elite national pathways in the world of competitive soccer. Travel and competitive pay to play structures introduce an additional hundreds more annually. Now, also here in the United States, we have several other sports that children can aspire to become professionals at. There's football, baseball, and basketball primarily that a lot of high schools, especially, focus on. And a lot of their budgets are geared towards these sports. They're geared so much towards these sports where you see these amazing stadiums, football stadiums in the Central Valley here in California and especially in Texas. And you even see baseball stadiums. There are schools here in California, in the Los Angeles area and the San Francisco Bay Area, where they groom their factories for the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NBA, as well as Texas and Florida and New York. It's just in order for soccer to become anything like those three sports are here in this country, it has to start from the bottom up. That's the only way to do it. We've just recently have had several MLS clubs, Major League Soccer clubs here in the United States that have been valued at over $1 billion. So we can start there. That's how they start in Europe. These clubs, these very wealthy clubs that make a lot of money in the Premier League, for example, spend a lot of money on their youth academies. And I believe that's where it needs to start. And once we start doing that, we can build a foundation to have the United States perform at a level of England, at a level of France, Spain, and Argentina, where the United States can excel in something like this. We know we can do it. We have the resources to do it. All we need is the commitment. And we can take this thing further and further and compete at a higher level. And hopefully, we'll be talking about global elite soccer, football, and some championship level play from the United States men's team here in the dark.